And you start to learn through the toolkit and learn through these videos, learn through courses, how to be masterful of your mindsets. Masterful, meaning you know them well and you don't have any shame. You just look at them with a judgment-free awareness and you say, where did I learn that? Where had I seen that before? Where is it in our society, in our culture, in my family, and etc.? And you start to wonder. You don't have to do analysis of who did what and why. You just say, I am a product, so to speak, a result of an outcome of context, environments. And so even watching TV, watching news, we learn how to be without realizing it. And sometimes we accumulate habits that we don't like and don't reflect who we really are or who we want to be or what we intend, but we still do it, or we still feel it, we still think it. And so instead of saying, okay, let me analyze unconscious bias, take the thoughts out, let me analyze the behavior modification, let me talk that, and then of course the emotions are usually ignored. It's how do we talk about this whole internal ecosystem and say, what do I think consciously and unconsciously? How does that make me feel? And how do those thoughts and feelings make me act? And what behavior do I have? And what are the results of those behavior? Am I happy? Does it reflect well on me? Does it turn out well? Is it something I could use for the long term? Do other people respond well? So you just get to know, by being a master of your mindsets, you get to know yourself. And the more able you are to just look at yourself from a little bit of a distance, and that's another human-centric leading tool called from the Acropolis. You can also say from a penthouse up above something, looking at yourself or another part of yourself and say, it's okay. Yeah, I do that. I'm not exactly happy about it, but I'm still okay. And I have choice to be able to make change. And so you start to be your own advocate and your own best friend and best assessor in a judgment-free awareness. And you can say to yourself, yeah, I wasn't happy with the way I led that meeting, especially when people started criticizing and judging and blaming me. I got escalated, and then I started reacting and saying things that I didn't really want to say, but I did say them, and then it fueled the tension and conflict, and that wasn't what I wanted to do. So then go back and draw out the triads and say, okay, what triggered me? What was I assuming or fearful of? What did I try to do but kind of got derailed? And then we go back to the most effective mindset where I'm calm and neutral. I think I'm okay. I know the value I bring to a team. I know how to help and be helpful. I know I can imagine how things should be, or I'm really good at planning and organizing, or I'm great at data evaluation and understanding what we really know about a topic. And so we start to get to know ourselves, and then that makes it much easier to affect change. Because most of the time we have feelings is when we have judgments, judgmental thoughts. Something's good, something's bad. Something's safe, something's dangerous. I'm included, I'm excluded. So your emotions are very informative. They tell you what you're thinking. And your thinking informs your emotions and your behavior. So you start to get to know yourself. And then it's easier because when you don't have judgment, you're more calm because the emotions don't get agitated and say, we're thinking these things that are making me worried, unsafe, and unresourceful. And we start to say, okay, I did that, yeah, and I can talk about it knowing the emotion, but not from the heat of the emotion. And so I can then more likely change to a different mindset. When we judge ourselves and others, we're trapped. We cannot affect change that lasts. So the Mindset Toolkit is a support to be able to go with exercises and case studies in there and practice over time. Of course, you can always ask me questions. You can hire me as a coach. You can read the book I'm coming up with. You can listen to the videos. You have resources, and you can do this yourself, and you can get help either way. So that's the main part of human-centric leading, is our mindsets. Because remember, human-centric leading is an antidote to what we have now. And what we have now are workplaces designed to see people as replaceable cogs in a wheel, who are only as good as what they do. And if they make mistakes or one too many, we get rid of them and put new people in there. And we continue to proliferate. That's why it's called the magnificent compression machine, because it's a positive feedback loop that creates the negative outcomes we have, and we perpetuate. So in order to create an antidote, we need a new mindset. If we're not replaceable cogs in a wheel, what are we? We are inherently valuable. We have thoughts, feelings, and behavior. We are emotional creatures who think and do. And we need certain things, and there's going to be another video on the needs. We need certain things to feel resourceful and to be at our best. So that's the whole point, is we start with mindsets and we start to say, okay, we're not replaceable cogs in a wheel, then what? If we're whole beings with emotional needs and unlimited potential, how do we interact with each other when there's tension, when there's conflict, when there's resistance to change, when there's failures or mistakes, or other people criticize, judge, and blame us? And now we, instead of being defensive, how would we respond? And that's the magic of human-centric leading. It gives us a way of getting out of this idea that we're replaceable cogs in a wheel, so we have to react from that state. We let that aside, and we're like, I'm not replaceable. I may get fired, but I'm not replaceable. I can adapt and move somewhere else. And when we're not fearful, we're more cogent, we're more responsive, we're more strategic, we're more creative. And that's the whole idea. Because the world, the way it is, it's kind of, in one say, the structures are crumbling. We're questioning democracy. Hierarchy, the power over hierarchy is being questioned. That's a 9,000-year-old habit we have. So we're questioning things in good ways and scary ways. I think democracy is the most sophisticated model available, but it is challenging. Nevertheless, all our systems, our structures, our families, our communities, trusting people, people in position power, are they honest enough to handle the pressure of those positions? We are all seeing some degradation of these. And so in an uncertain world, when we have so much fast-paced change, and at the same time technology is saying, we have artificial intelligence, we can tell you faster what your medical problem is, faster than the doctor, we can tell you this. It's, it becomes quite different than what we've been raised with. And so we need something to keep us solid and grounded amidst this tornado of change. And that's what does it, the mindset.